What is up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. I got a project I'm gonna start working on for my buddy Wes. He wants to put a little bit of bass in his Lexus RX 350. He decided to go with JL. I told him that he should get a couple 12s, but he wanted to go with 115. But he wanted me to make a box for him, so that's what we're gonna do. So this video is going to be about the box build first. I won't get too much into the looks of it just yet. I just want to make a functional box. So I did draw up some plans for this. I try to keep it within the recommended spec of this subwoofer, just so I didn't have to change anything up too much. But he wanted to have the port on the top in the middle, and then the woofer facing out towards the back of the vehicle. Since it's a 15-inch subwoofer, it's going to be pretty decent size. So I'm going to start by ripping the sheet of MDF that I've got. I'm going to try to not waste as much wood as possible. I drew a little bit out of the size of each piece so I can take advantage of as much of that sheet as possible. So before I start putting everything together, I want to make a couple circle templates, and I'm going to use a circle jig that I made. I'm going to link another video where I explain it a little bit more in depth. The port is actually a little bit bigger than the brace, so I'm going to have to take a little bit off of the bracing here so the port can go through. And I'm also going to use that as a point of contact where I can glue in that port and attach it to the brace. Also, we'll be cutting the hole on the side. So since I have it here, I can see where the window is going to line up with it. So I'm going to slide this piece just a little bit over the brace piece. Go ahead and draw the circle here. Got that circle drawn where I'm going to have the template. I'm going to go ahead and attach it to this piece. I just wanted to test fit this before I get too far. There'll be another 3/4 clearance here. It's not touching the port at all. Bracing fit in pretty good. Almost flush right here, but I was having issues with cutting this pipe since it's so big. So I brought out the circle jig again. I want to make a couple circle templates for the woofer. I'll cut one out for the mounting hole, for the diameter of the basket, another one for the diameter of the whole woofer, and then I want to make one big enough for a trim piece that I want to have around that woofer. So I've got all my templates made, got them labeled for future use. So we'll start by finding the center of the front baffle. So since I have these lines going up and down on here, I can just line them up with the marks that I have on the template. And just for reference, before I use the double-sided tape to put it on here, I'm just gonna draw the inner part of the circle. And before I start cutting anything, I wanna do one last check to make sure this hole fits the woofer. I went by the measurements that were on the specs. It's a little bit more loose than I would want it, but it should be fine. I wanted to test fit the pieces together with the woofer in there. I probably could have made it a little bit more shallow. I have enough space to do that. I'm gonna clamp these pieces together. I'm not gonna put glue in there just yet because I might have to take this front piece off so I can work on the trim pieces for the front. So I got the box put together with just screws. I haven't glued anything in place just yet. The cuts weren't 100% perfect. Not sure if you can tell from this angle, but it's sticking up just a little bit here. That shouldn't be any issue. I can just use the flush trim bit to clean that up. And then over here, this piece is sticking out just a little bit too. I'll just have to do a lot of cleaning up with the router. After I do that, take this box apart again and get these pieces glued in. I'll probably actually start with gluing this port in place, just so I'm able to get glue all around the entire thing and not have any issues getting it put back together. It's looking good so far. We went ahead and did the test fit in Wes's vehicle, and this box is huge in there. Hopefully it sounds good though. So I painted the port black, took it out, put it back in. Now I have to take the front baffle off. I'm gonna glue the port in place, and then I'll have to take everything apart so I can get those sections glued after that epoxy is dried. I just don't want it to shift any when I'm trying to get it mounted in. This is actually my first time working with epoxy. I only got the areas that were pretty accessible over here. I wanted to get it tacked in place before I take the rest of the wood loose so I can get to the other areas. I let this dry overnight, so it's in there pretty good. I'll just take this part off, put the rest of the epoxy in the other sections. I got a set of binding posts, which I'm gonna use to connect the woofer to the amp. We're gonna mount it in the side right over here. I'm gonna try to keep it low, but that should be the last thing I have to do before I start gluing everything together. So this is what we've got so far. I didn't put these screws in just yet because I have to take this off when I'm putting the magnets in to attach the front panel. It's turning out pretty clean. See the bracing in there. You can see the binding posts on the side over there. And then the port, which we got epoxied in. So that's all we got for right now. I'll continue the build in the next video. So make sure you consider subscribing so you get notifications when that video comes out. I don't have a real schedule, so the videos kind of just show up whenever. And also, I finally made a Facebook page, so I'll be posting more content on that. I'll have the link. Hey buddy, hop up. Come here, Spartan. Whatever. So I'll have the link in the description so you can check that out. But that's it for right now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.